Hey guys, welcome to another video. On this video, I want to do kind of like a state of No Man's Sky, right? Kind of talk about it as a whole, what went wrong at launch, and just different things. How can it be fixed? How can we draw people back if we can draw people back? That's assuming we can. What to expect down the road for the future of No Man's Sky? What do I personally want? And my thoughts on E3, if they'll be at E3, if not, if they are, what the heck are they going to be there for? And just kind of anything else that pops into my mind, right? I've got a little outline written here, but you guys know me. I hardly ever stick to my outlines. So let's start off with what went wrong, because that is the genesis of the No Man's Sky story, right? And it all started back at VGX in 2013, 2014, whenever it was. One of those years. And I think it was a combination of Sean Murray being incredibly vague about the game and about the what you do in No Man's Sky. And that and gamers taking that vagueness and interpreting that into, well, you can do anything in No Man's Sky. And obviously neither of which is true. So I think that combination, it just turned into a deadly cocktail, and it vomited out the mess that we had back in August. I'm not going to call No Man's Sky a mess now, because it's not a mess now. It's in much better shape now than it was. So I think what went wrong was that, and in combination with the fact that they just ran out of money and they had deadlines to make. You know, in the real world, you have deadlines. If you don't make those deadlines, you have consequences, and I think that Hello Games is paying some of that consequences now. With their reputation taking the hit that it's taken, and with their really what is a passion project for them being quite honestly, a laughingstock in the gaming world. So that's what went wrong. I think Sony said, guys, you gotta release it. We've delayed it enough, we can't delay it no more. You have to release it. And, you know, Hello Games kind of was like, well, we're about to run out of money anyway, so we've got to get it done. So that's what I think happened. They just kind of put a bow on it, shipped it out, and now we're seeing them kind of finish it up, you know, and make it the game that it should have been, right? How can this be fixed? There's no way to fix the you can do anything expectations that a lot of people had. You can't go back and not be vague. So the best you can do, I think, is to do what they're doing. Continue to pack as many features as you possibly can into the game, and really cross your fingers and hope for the best. That's about all you can do at this point. How can we draw people back? The people that hate the game, you're not going to get them back. I think they're gone. Even adding multiplayer, I think, wouldn't suffice. Not long term. If you added multiplayer, the game's population would skyrocket, and it would stay high for a couple of months, and then you would see it slowly start to go back down. And here's why. At its core, No Man's Sky is a crafting game. It's essentially Minecraft. Let's be honest here. And there's a niche market for that kind of game and that kind of gameplay. And people that hate the game now hate it because that's what it is. It's mining, it's crafting. That's not going to change. That is the core gameplay. That's never going to change. The only way to get those people back would be to make a whole new game, you know, No Man's Sky 2, and that would, you know, that may work, and that even that may not work, because it's still coming from Hello Games and they have a tarnished rep. So those people are gone. So I don't think you can draw people back. So that's my answer to that. What to expect? I don't really know because the updates have been so just kind of scattered. They're not really tying into each other. So there's really, it's hard to read a roadmap from what we've been given, right? Because you've had Foundations, that was, base building. You had Pathfinder, which was cars, buggies, and then presumably the next update will be combat. Those don't really tie into each other in any noticeable way. I mean, I don't know, you just be stupid and not see it, but I don't see a correlation there between the three, base building, cars, and combat. So I don't know what to expect. Obviously, combat, you should expect a combat update in the near future, I think. Well, in the future. I won't say near, because I don't know. So, other than that, I have no clue what we should expect. What do I personally want? What is on my wish list, if you will, for No Man's Sky? Go back and watch my E3 trailer I made for No Man's Sky. That's my wish list right there. I want the E3 HUD back. I think the E3 HUD looks awesome. It looks alien, and in a game like No Man's Sky, where it's a space exploration game, things should look alien. I want to land on asteroids. I want to I want the game fleshed out more. Give me more creature types. Give me planet variation. Give me rivers, waterfalls. Give me just different things. Active volcanoes. Hurricanes that come through and destroy buildings. Give me something I've really been thinking about is cutscenes. I really want cutscenes in the game now. Here's what I'm picturing in my mind. So how the lore is text-based. We get all the lore from reading text, and I'm fine with that. It's kind of like the old school choose your own adventure books back in the back in the 80s, early 90s, stuff like that. That's stuff I grew up with, so I'm completely cool with stuff like that. But I would love to see, because how we walk up to a monolith, press X or square, whatever it is, and the text pops up. Instead of the text popping up, it would be so cool if we walked up to the monolith, pressed square, the screen faded to black, and instead of the text popping up, we get a cutscene. And say the text was about the Viking War or whatever. We'll see a cutscene. We'll see the war taking place, and there'll be a narrator reading the text that normally would have popped up. The narrator will be reading that text over top of this cutscene. That would be awesome to me. Like, that would add so much to the immersion. But I mean, it's just little things like that. That I would like to see. Just see the game fleshed out more, and that kind of thing. I want to see, the water. I want the water to be fixed. Right now, the water is just white. It looks like somebody spilled a bag of flour. Fix the water. I want to be able to crash my ship. Yes, the low flight was an improvement. Let me crash it. And when I crash it, I want something to break. Make it like black holes. Something randomly breaks. That would give you an incentive to kind of hone your flying skills. So, and speaking of incentives, that leads me to something else that I want. Give me a reason to go to the center. That's probably the biggest thing that I want. Even more so than multiplayer, I think. I want something at the center. The center was supposed to have been this awe-inspiring thing, and it's a joke. You know, like right now, I am sitting at the center of Euclid right now, um, and I'm out of things to do. Like, I don't want to go to the center because I don't want to go to Hilbert and have to fix all of my equipment when there's nothing in Hilbert that I can't see in Euclid. There's no reason for me to go to Hilbert other than, you know, for me to be able to say that I'm there. Who cares if you're there? There's nothing there that's different than what's in Euclid. So there's no incentive to go to Hilbert. Give me an incentive to go to Hilbert and beyond. Put something in Hilbert that is unique to Hilbert. Like if say dinosaurs, take the Diplos, stick them in Hilbert, make them unique to Hilbert. They're nowhere else but Hilbert. There's an incentive to go to Hilbert. You know, little things. It doesn't have to be some grandiose thing in Hilbert. It could be something little. You know, stick an element there that is extremely rare. Like say, like here's an idea. Okay, you know how portals don't work? Well, who knows if they work? I'm still on the fence if they do or not. But let's say they don't work. They're inactive. Okay, and we have night crystals that are not used for anything, but they are extremely rare. How about if when you go to the center, instead of sending you to another galaxy, you hit square to go to the, or X to go to the center, and it takes you to the center, and either A, the center is the star that you birth when you finish the Atlas path, or B, it could be either one of these things, I don't care which, or B, you go to the center, it bumps you to another galaxy, to Hilbert, with a load of night crystals. And like I don't care if you have to have an extra slot or whatever, if the game gives you an extra slot for night crystals. Load it up with night crystals and make that how to activate the portals. Like you walk into a portal, open up your inventory, press X over top of the night crystal and the portal activates. That would give me an incentive to go to the center. Like the portals wouldn't work until you went to the center. I think that would be cool. That would be it. That would be something to use the center for. There would be an incentive to go there. You know. But then you would have to make sure that the portal's done something worthy of making that trip to the center. And then you would have to make something worthy of making the trip to Hilbert, and so on and so forth. I mean, this game has endless possibilities, is what I'm getting at. There's never been a game of this size and this much potential. And I really hope that that potential is realized one day. And I think it will. So, let's move on to multiplayer. And I'll probably wrap it up with this and my thoughts on E3. My thoughts for multiplayer, I get both sides of the argument. I play competitive games mostly. I play Call of Duty, I play sports games, I play Grand Theft Auto. Right. Excuse me, all those games are competitive in nature. So that's my wheelhouse, right? I played No Man's Sky to get away from that gameplay. I don't play No Man's Sky to compete with anybody. I play No Man's Sky to chill out and relax after a day of work. And that's what I go there for. So I understand that side of the argument. I also understand the side of the argument that says add multiplayer, add deathmatch, that would give you so much stuff to do, you know, and da-da-da-da-da. And that's true also. Here's my opinion on multiplayer. A, I don't think deathmatch will ever come, because I don't think Sean Murray wants it here. And that's fine, it's his game. He can do whatever he wants to do with it. And I would be fine with that if deathmatch never came. But when multiplayer is added, if you want to do something like deathmatch, it needs to be a completely separate mode. Like normal mode, creative mode, survival, and permadeath. Those four need to be completely autonomous of deathmatch and No Man's Sky Online. I'll call it that, No Man's Online. It needs to be completely autonomous of the base game. You can use the same universe, obviously, but completely autonomous. What you do in multiplayer should not affect the rest of the game, the vanilla modes. This way you can kind of have your cake and eat it too, right? Like if I got tired of exploring by myself, I could hop into multiplayer and play a deathmatch game, and then I can go back and, go back and forth. Do I think multiplayer will ever come? I think it will, eventually. I don't think deathmatch will ever come. But eventually we'll have multiplayer, I think, explore together and trade in online economy, stuff like that. I think that'll come eventually. And that'll be awesome when it does come. So those are my thoughts on multiplayer, in a nutshell. On to E3. As far as that goes, I don't see them there. Mainly because the Steam page hasn't been updated in 2 months. Normally, before each update, the Steam page will have a sequence of internal updates, and they'll be relatively close together. And that's what's happened with Foundation, that's what happened with Pathfinder. Presumably that's what's going to happen with this combat update. That's presumably down the pike. With no activity there, I'm hard pressed to say that they're going to unveil some huge thing in 10 days at E3. I could be absolutely wrong. The Steam page could start refreshing like crazy tomorrow morning. And in which case I would have to come back up here and say, guys, completely disregard the last X amount of minutes from the State of No Man's Sky video, because up here it's wrong. They might be there. But as of now, I don't think they'll be there. In any capacity, because there's no reason for it, unless you're releasing an update. And it better be a massive update to justify an E3 appearance. Because there's only a certain amount of time allotted at E3, right? Sony has so much time there, There's a lot of games that fight for that amount of time. So, it better be a massively big deal, right, to justify an E3 appearance. Speaking of E3, and I should have mentioned this previously when I was talking about what I wanted. If they go at E3, I think it'll be a multiplayer update announcement, and hopefully this kind of ties in with the stuff that I want. Hopefully an Xbox One announcement for the release on the Xbox One. I want that for Xbox players. Because you're essentially doubling your income. And if money is an issue, which I'm sure it is for a small team, that would only help. So, and that would help everybody. That would help Hello Games, and if Hello Games is making more money, they can pour more resources into No Man's Sky, which in turn helps us, the consumer. So I want an Xbox release. I don't even own an Xbox. I have never owned an Xbox, but I want an Xbox release. So those are my thoughts in a nutshell. That is my state of No Man's Sky. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, and subscribe. Click that notification button so you will be notified every time I upload a video on the channel. Every time I go live, I will randomly live stream. Just whenever I feel like it. Like a perfect example, Sunday morning. I could not sleep not Sunday morning, Saturday morning, yesterday morning. I couldn't sleep for anything. I was up at like 2:30 in the morning. I legitimately made a pot of coffee at 3 o'clock and started streaming No Man's Sky, and I streamed until about 6, I think. So I randomly live stream all the time. So hit the notification button. You'll get notified when that happens. I will be out of the country during E3. But if anything major happens with No Man's Sky, if they drop an online patch, a multiplayer patch, I will try my best to make a quick video, depending on how the internet is at the resort that I'm going to, and what my new wife wants to do at that point in time, so we'll have to see how that all works out. So yeah, hit the notification button, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will stop rambling so you can move on with your day. We'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.